Inside Roblox, there's a player many people consider extremely dangerous. An account surrounded by dark rumors. So dark that once you start digging, you can't stop. According to those rumors, this player was involved in something unthinkable. The death of her own father. And even though the story has changed many times, every version agrees on one thing. Nothing ended well. The account is known as KittyCuties48, though in the games she simply goes by Kitty. Based on what has been pieced together, everything began on what seemed like a normal day inside her home. Kitty lived with her parents, a couple who argued constantly. Screaming, fighting, and tension filled the house every single day. For Kitty, that was just normal life. But one night was different. That day, her mother started acting strangely. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't crying. She was quiet, unnervingly calm. According to the story, the argument with Kitty's father escalated further than usual, until it turned physical. No one knows exactly what happened next, only that the fight crossed a point of no return. At first, many believed Kitty herself had attacked her father. That rumor spread fast. But later, a far more disturbing version surfaced. It was actually the mother, and Kitty was only a witness. According to hidden messages found inside the games, the mother tried to justify it with fragmented explanations. She said she had no choice, that she was exhausted, that something inside her simply broke. After that night, Kitty changed. On her Roblox profile, which eventually gained thousands of followers, disturbing messages began to appear. One of the most well-known said, "Hey mom, where's my dad?" And directly below it, a single reply, "I'm sorry." That message alone was enough for the community to start connecting the dots. In Kitty's friends list, there were 3 key accounts added around the same time. One that appeared to represent her mother, another her father, and a third, supposedly a close friend, all newly created, all connected, as if the story refused to stay buried. When you enter the game, the first thing you see is a scene frozen in time. The father is there, completely out of control, shaking with rage. In front of him stands the mother, staring back with a cold, exhausted expression, as if she feels nothing anymore. Dialogue appears above their heads like trapped memories. She tells him she can't take it anymore, that she's at her limit, that she's done. He responds with shouting, growing more aggressive by the second. In the middle of it all is Kitty, watching from a distance. She says this isn't the first time, that it always happens, that it always ends the same way. So she does what she always does. She escapes. She leaves to play Brookhaven, trying to ignore the yelling echoing through the walls. In the game, we see her holding a slice of pizza and a cup of coffee, pretending everything is normal, as if routine alone could protect her from what's happening in her house. But the scene shifts again. We return to the parents. The father is still enraged, but now the mother isn't crying or screaming. She calmly says a single sentence that feels completely out of place. "I'm hungry." She says it casually, like she's talking about nothing at all. In her hand, an object appears, something that shouldn't be there. The father notices and asks what she's doing, telling her to calm down, begging her not to do something she'll regret. At that moment, Kitty returns. She says it's time for dinner. And that's when everything breaks. When she enters the room, the atmosphere changes instantly. The silence is heavy. The father no longer responds. Kitty starts crying. The mother stands there, motionless, her face stained, repeating over and over that she's sorry, that she didn't mean it, that she was just hungry, that everything is fine, even though nothing is. Kitty screams at her, calls her a monster, saying she doesn't understand what she's done. But the mother keeps insisting, like she's living in another reality, completely denying what's right in front of her. After that, the object disappears, as if the game itself is trying to erase what happened, but the body remains, and so does the guilt. The story doesn't end there. Kitty has other games, and each one reveals something more disturbing than the last. One of them is titled, I Was Hungry. Its description reads only, You lied. The game's thumbnail shows a chilling message. You lie about who you are. You lie about how you feel. You lie about the past. You lie about the future. You pretend to be everything you're not. And you called me crazy. When you enter, there's no music, no NPCs, just a lonely house. Inside, we once again see the mother standing next to the father, repeating the same line over and over, apologizing, saying she's hungry, trapped in a loop. The scene feels claustrophobic, like time has stopped and the past refuses to fade. In the distance, another figure appears. It's Kitty. She stands outside, completely still, watching. When you approach her, she says only one thing. My mom lied. I'll never be able to look at her again. And that's when you realize this story isn't just about what happened. It's about what Kitty will never be able to forget. After everything that occurred, Kitty is left completely broken. In the games, she's seen crying, frozen in place, as if the world around her has lost all meaning. Even though her parents' fights were constant and she had learned to ignore them just to survive, the loss of her father leaves a different mark. She didn't just lose him, she also lost any remaining connection to her mother. She can't look at her anymore. She can't be near her without feeling fear and anger at the same time. Another one of Kitty's games is titled, Who Are You? When you enter, there are no instructions and no clear story. The map is almost empty. At the far end of the map, there's a lone figure. It looks like a man. He stands still, head lowered, surrounded by an uncomfortable silence. It's never confirmed whether this is the father or someone else entirely. The game never explains it. What is clear is the absolute loneliness of that figure, as if it's trapped between worlds, forgotten even by the game itself. Kitty's final game is even more unsettling. It's called, But I Don't Wanna Leave. In the description, there's a confusing line. The man I saw on the hill is dying, or already dead. The map is large and empty, almost childish in some areas. There's swings, benches, bright colors that don't match the atmosphere at all. Under one of the benches, there's a motionless figure. It doesn't move. It doesn't react. No one explains who it is or why it's there. According to theories, Kitty came to this place to put up missing person posters of her father. In her childlike mind, he isn't completely gone yet. Maybe she believes he can still come back. Maybe she thinks that if she searches long enough, she'll find him. The game never says this outright, but everything points to a deep denial, a mind refusing to accept reality. The story becomes even darker when the connected accounts are examined. The mother also has a profile. In her description, there's only a single letter and an apology. She has a game titled, Kitty, Please Believe Me. Everything takes place inside a massive house. Each room seems to represent a different memory. In one of them, the father appears giving orders, demanding food, behaving in an authoritarian way. The mother obeys without arguing. Later, the scene changes. The mother is crying. She says everything is over. She says there won't be any more fights. While she cooks, she repeats a line that changes everything. She says she doesn't want to leave Kitty alone with him, that she was scared, that he was too violent. The father tastes the food and reacts with rage. He yells, he threatens. The mother begs him not to hurt her. The tension is unbearable. The game suggests that this was the real breaking point, not an impulsive act, but a decision born from fear, exhaustion, and years of silent violence. Nothing is shown directly. Everything is implied. And that's what makes Kitty's story even more disturbing. There's no clear version of the truth, only fragments and conflicting memories from a child trapped between guilt and trauma. In the end, everything points to a single idea. The mother repeats the same justification over and over, like a mantra. She says she did it because she was hungry. But beneath that, it seems clear that she did it out of fear, to protect her daughter from a violent man. That same phrase appears from the first game to the last, as if it's the only way she can convince herself that what she did made sense. When you look at the father's profile, the story becomes even more unsettling. In his description, he writes that he misses his daughter, and in his game, a lone figure wanders slowly across the map, moving aimlessly, like a soul that can't move on. The game tries to portray him as a regretful, almost loving, but that image clashes with everything shown before, an aggressive, controlling man consumed by anger. That contradiction makes nothing fully line up. And then there's the friend. His account leaves behind a chilling line. Better keep it this way. She'll never know. In his game, he presents himself as someone trustworthy, someone who promises to take care of everything. But as the story progresses, the atmosphere grows stranger and more closed in, as if there's something hidden behind his words. The game never explains exactly what he did. It only makes one thing clear. He knows more than he says. So the story doesn't end with answers, only questions. Was the mother a monster or someone desperate? Was the father a victim or just a false version of himself? And did the friends truly help, or did he make everything worse? Nothing is confirmed. Nothing is fully explained. And maybe that's the most disturbing part of this story inside Roblox. No matter how much you investigate, it always feels like something's missing. Meanwhile, the games are still there, waiting for someone else to enter. Alright guys, that was the story of Kitty. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.